Going on, Jerome's beautiful Thursday. Birds are chirping and stuff, and it's time for another Vikings news dump. So, training camp continues to roll along on down the line. Thursday's gone with the wind. Vikings have an off day today. They had padded practice number 2, overall training camp practice number 7. Nailed it. They'll be back at TCO tomorrow, and the fans will be revved up, ready to go. Night practice on Monday the 5th. It's going to be awesome, man. But, Ty Chandler looking to make a big-time impact year 3. He and Aaron Jones in the backfield. Also, Josh Metellus is a pretty damn fantastic aesthetic. Plus, so the extra padding on the helmet, obviously it helps with player safety. And I think eventually they'll be worn in games. They'll just be branded, team style right now. But it's funny because every single player looks like Toad from Mario. It's funny, man. But the aesthetic of Josh Metellus 4-4 looking damn good, man. I love it. I love it, man. Also, we've been over this. It should be mandatory that every single defensive player at least has to wear a mirrored visor, preferably receivers and running backs as well. Actually, hell, everyone. Quarterbacks look good too, because remember Kyle Sluter from the UFL? I look good as well. Oh, speaking of which, Jordan Addison. Addison had himself a nice day on Wednesday, making all the plays all over the place as Justin Jefferson had the day off. Addison was the focal point of the ones, and he certainly got after it. Also, Aaron Jones, looking spry. I love it, man. Also, this is an underrated thing. So you look at Addison's thigh pads, right? They're basically no padding. They're basically just the plastic structure, right? And a lot of times they'll be branded as 3 and personal messages and stuff. But I respect that Aaron Jones, obviously different position, wearing the actual thick thigh pads. Those thigh pads look like they might be carried over from high school from way back in the day. It's good, man. It's good. Also, I can't really see. Ty Chandler's wearing thigh pads too. I feel like that's something that needs to be brought back. I understand that a lot of players play in games with the minuscule thigh pads and sometimes even none, but nah, bring them back. Let's make this game violent again, but within reason, or whatever Sendejo's hat said from back in the day. Also, speaking of violence, there was allegedly some fisticuffs going on at practice, but Johnny Munt, tight end, as well as Brian Asamoah, safety / linebacker, but wasn't really much of anything. So basically, Munt got loose up the sidelines a little bit. Asamoah gave him a little bit of chin music on the sideline. Johnny Munt took issue, chucked the ball at Asamoah. Asamoah didn't even turn around, and some of the defenders got in the way. Munt didn't escalate things, but you could tell that he was a little bit unhappy because it didn't even look like a full speed drill, to be honest, but Asamoah just gave him a little something. But it's I wish it was more, but it's okay. But the whole thing about training camp fights, it's good to show spirit. Also, it gets boring day after day, hitting each other. That's why joint practices are so fantastic, because you get to hit other people. And it gets to be us versus them, but them are also us situation. Yeah. Unfortunately, Robert Tonyan was carted off from with practice fields on Wednesday, but the Vikings got some good news. Also, all right, so 28 is AJ Green. Still looks weird. It's like Adrian chasing down on an interception. I don't know. But Ben Gessling, it looks like Robert Tonyan, who's carted off the field at Vikings practice today, as dealing with back spasms. Source said he appeared to be in quite a bit of pain before he left the field. And as someone who's had back issues, back spasms ain't no joke, man. And they, depending on the severity, they can put you out of commission for a while. So hopefully Bobby Tonyan gets good to go. But it is good that was reported relatively quickly, as opposed to something more serious. So I'm glad that Tonyan avoided a major injury in this spot, because it didn't look great. Whenever the cart's brought out, it generally is not very good. #analytics. Something that is very good is Levi Drake Rodriguez, 7th round pick, Texas A&M Commerce, senior sack. Getting after things. Alec Lewis, LDR just cooked someone in one-on-one and chest bump defensive line coach Marcus Dixon. Electric stuff out here. And I actually do think that that Levi Drake Rodriguez has a pretty good shot to make the roster. I think at minimum he's going to be on the practice squad in the Sphere. But the Vikings are missing that defensive piece right now, and this defensive depth chart probably isn't worth two poops right now. Like this doesn't even have Fabian Moreau on it, but I don't care at this point. But defensive line wise, like you need someone who could blow up a gap. And Jaquelin Roy hopefully can be that. Maybe some jumping James Lynch all up in there. Maybe Jahad Ward, the veteran as well. But yeah, I got high hopes for LDR. I think that he's going to be a star in preseason. I think that fans are going to love him very quickly. All heart, all hustle. Just a whirling dervish ball of hair, mustache, and sacks. That's all, man. That's all. Speaking of Fabian Moreau, so Alec Lewis. A couple things from Vikings camp today. Cornerback Fabian Moreau was mixing in with the ones a good bit today and thought he looked good. I don't know if that's a good sign or not. Like, literally some dude off the street just comes in and runs with your first-team defense. But like we said yesterday in the practice recap, what it is, Moreau is a press man cover specialist, and he started for all 5 teams that he's been on. If he makes the Vikings, he'll probably start at some point here. And it is a good fallback plan. So, again, this depth chart doesn't have Moreau on it, but having depth on the outside and a guy where obviously Moreau doesn't know the full playbook, but hey, on this play, your role is to cover whoever the X or the Z receiver is and just stick with them. And that's about it. And that does have value. And that's a reason why Moreau, even at 30, even though this is his 5th team in 5 years, I mean, he is going to be fine. He'll be fine. Like, again, it's not overly sexy of a signing, but in terms of did you improve the 90-man rooster? Yes. Yes, you absolutely did. Also, speaking of improvement, so this is fantastic. So, Channel 40, hold on. KSTP Channel 5, but also, what do they call it? The thing on the microphone. Is that the flag? Sure. But 5 and 45. Actually, people only watch Channel 45 because of the state high school football and state high school hockey tournaments. That's it. That's it. Anyways, Myles Gaskin grabbed the mic, do-it-all utility backup running back, talking to Byron Murphy Jr., cutting some wrestling promos. Duke Shelley came along and dropped some bars, and it was good, man. Honestly, I love this behind-the-scenes stuff, especially whether it's stuff like this or stuff the Vikings Entertainment Network puts out. It shows behind the scene that the guys have fun. And yes, the business is the business is the business. And you generally, well, not generally, but you specifically do not have to get along with people that you work with, right? As long as you have a good professional relationship, personal relationships, whatever. But I mean, at the end of the day, we're humans, and these guys are out here, and football is a giant fraternity, and these guys are making lifelong friends and memories and stuff like that. And that may sound sappy, but it's legit. And I love seeing these guys getting along, joking, because I feel like we said, you don't have to be BFFs to succeed, but it doesn't hurt. You know what I mean? Because busting your ass, doing your job for the person next to you that you actually like, I feel like that's a lot easier than someone you're completely indifferent to. Who knows, man? Also, some I know that J.J. McCarthy. So Darnold had himself a decent practice on Wednesday. J.J. McCarthy had some highs and some lows, but the highs were super high, man. Like, he had some red zone throws, which were fantastic. 11 on 11. He had a sideline shot to, I believe it was Lucky Jackson on I think it was a dagger concept. Yeah, but either way, looked really, really good on the corner route. But Kevin Seifert, J.J. McCarthy definitely throws a nice ball into the corner in red zone drills. Just hit another for a touchdown. This one to Lucky Jackson against the first-team defense. Now, like Wes Phillips said, I mean, 7-on-7 is an offensive drill, and you should look good in 7-on-7, especially in the red zone. But also, it's the whole thing. Like, I mean, McCarthy could look bad. McCarthy could look like Drake May out there, but he doesn't. And that's what sort of lead me to believe like maybe something could be there. And also, number 9, feeling fine, Tommy Kramer, 494 Tommy, 2-minute Tommy, miracle at the Met Man. He met with J.J. McCarthy, 9 meeting to 9. Plus, obviously, I love Tommy Kramer because he went to Rice University. Go Owls. Yeah. But yeah, Vikings legend. I mean, I feel like Tommy Kramer has been more of a legend off the field. It's like a good times all the time. But he was a bad dude back in the day. Like, he was a damn good quarterback. Plus, homegrown, homespun, all that stuff. But 9 meeting 9, feeling fine. That's right, man. Lastly, so there's actually allegedly football tonight. Hall of Fame game. Now, what's funny is that on this graphic, none of these guys are going to play. But mainly the backups of the Texans and the Bears will be in Canton and getting it on and all that stuff. So, good time. Oh, I mean, I feel like the Texans don't necessarily need to see what Case Keenum can do. I mean, he's a veteran. He's fine. Just put the young dudes out there. But I'd like to see Case Keenum in the Hall of Fame game. Why the hell not, man? But it's just another sign football is getting closer, man. Because this is the last Thursday. This is the first Thursday with NFL football through like December until Thursday Night Football runs out, maybe even January. So it's here, baby. We made it. We did it. But that's it. Vikings news done for this beautiful Thursday. You guys are the best. You know what to do. Skol, production value.